Hey guys, TJ here. I'm signing back on to Attorney Trilogy. So we are still cross-examining Angel here. We've already gotten her on plenty of shit. And she's still trying to make the muffler a thing. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. She mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word. So what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but someone else. Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? She can't mean... By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately? My memory... It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. God. Sorry. My throat. On the wall. That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently it was out of order, and so she used her cell phone. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. Good witnessing. Whatever happened to good testifying? You should, of course, add this to your testimony. The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. The word muffler was overheard during a call made to Emma at 5:18. I saw it all. How she tried the phone on the wall, but instead had to use her cell instead. Do you think you could restate your testimony? Whoops. Oh, yeah, actually. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the This is actually very, very important. She picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. How did you see her do that? There is a wall there! Excuse me? So she pulled out her cell phone. So she put her own cell phone out of pocket. Again, look at where she is. Behind the wall. How the fuck did you see that? And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence. Then, when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this. What is it, Mr. Wright? Bitch? Excuse me? You saw it. You were right here. You couldn't see a damn thing through the wall. Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky.
Objection!
The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You, who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Uh-huh. What was that about no bias, edgy? Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, You couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the backside of this partition. Indeed, if you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. Order! Order! What is the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch, she's coughing up lies. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question? Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about... Uh-oh. I mean, what she saw, where she saw it, order of events, she probably lied about all of these. She lied about what she saw, in other words. She didn't see Miss Sky using that emergency phone. It doesn't seem hard to imagine how she could have. Very logical. What's the matter, Star? Cat got your lunchbox? Mr. Wright? I hate to bother you while you're celebrating your victory, but why would Miss Starr lie like that? Huh? Why would she say that my sister had tried to use the phone but failed? It doesn't make any sense. Why lie about something so insignificant? Oh, dang, she's right. I mean, maybe she really did see her try to use the emergency phone. I see no room for doubt here. You ordered the tui on rice, right? I thought I had something there too. Then it was definitely where she saw it. Miss Sky tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What's significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Starr to lie about it. Pointless to lie. I see. But say the witness did actually see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location. Now that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it! Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? All the testimony we've heard up to now points in one direction. The place from where Miss Starr witnessed the crime was here. The security room. This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room. Indeed, the security room is in the underground parking lot. It is well positioned. It's built on the second floor, so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are so many other places where she could have seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime and the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought our lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room. Yes. Well, Miss Starr, how many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today a man has got the better of Angel Starr. Order! Order! Witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. guilty. Is she talking about Miss Sky? Miss Wright, doesn't it strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands. Objection! It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason. So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. Huh? Me? Who else? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime scene from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. Must make a vital difference. But what? What would change? The angle, the distance, the difference in lighting. Technically all of those. The angle, definitely. Why the angle at which she saw the crime occur would change? The angle? What do you mean? Well... The security guard station is on the second floor, and, she would have a sort of more 3D view of the crime. And this is important. What? I don't know, I thought that was... hang on. The distance is the same, so it has to be lighting. It's a difference in lighting. Lighting? What does that mean? Well, that means, damn it. See, security station is on the second level, so she would have seen crime better lighting conditions, and this is important. It's not, is it? God damn it! It looks the same distance! It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. Objection! My condolences, Mr. Wright. But one look at the floor plans is quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see. Objection! What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Sky? Well, witness? You? Yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right? Quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. Boysenberry for the boyfriend. He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. That's why I had to go through the visitors' parking in B block. That's quite a detour. It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime. 5 minutes?! This changes things considerably. But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear on my finest plastic spork. You have a point. And the spork is a wonderful invention. Would you like another caviar lunch? Absolutely! Uh-oh. Mr. Wright, you have to do something! Do I have any evidence to stop this? Do I? It couldn't possibly have taken her 5 minutes to go from with how she said. How she said she went from the security room to this door here, and it was locked. Then she went all the way around, got a picture, hopped over, and got her. But by that time, she would have used the phone, used the cell phone, and possibly escaped.
Objection!
5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You couldn't make pasta in that amount of time. If you like it al dente. I got ambitious type pasta and a nuts, rookie. 5 minutes blank. Isn't that strange? Strange. If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey! Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone. But no one says that. But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run, but this time was different. Miss Sky dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act that way. It's even inconceivable. Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, is the next witness ready to go? Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright! That was too close. I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned. Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? That's the one she tried to foist off on me. I'd prefer not to take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence. How is this bitch still going? What was that? This is another one of her trick lunch boxes. My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr. Ah. Is this your jumbo lunchbox? Woohoo! A triple decker! Oh god. It pains me to see how much I see myself in this judge right now. Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence while I absolutely devour this lunch. Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed. What's she going to pull out of her lunchbox this time? I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe, did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on the shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Lana Skye. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence.
What? There was blood found on that shoe?
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs.
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence?
Ooh, you've pissed off Edgy. Simple, as I've already said. I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself.
And you had blood tests performed?
Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics.
In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence.
What?
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence. At least for the time being.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
Seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective.
But you're not anymore!
As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright?
Seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen.
You can at least study some evidence law, really!
The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness.
Anything to ensure that guilty are properly judged. Victim's shoe added to the court record.
Very well. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Alright. Before that, since I am still writing on 2 bits of battery, I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I was on the crime scene.
Why did you lie about those 5 minutes?
I guess you could say I just wanted people to look at the results.
The results?
How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing.
Then why didn't you just tell the truth?
Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, and raising and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book.
This is when the suspect is admitting she did. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at that plot twist. But false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Miss Starr. Let's just get this over with.
And now to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up?
And you found the shoe at the scene of the crime.
I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive.
So, like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with the shoe.
I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. The shoe was my secret weapon, if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than the lunchboxes, gentlemen.
I'm happy for you and your lunchbox bag. Really. In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now tell us what you did next.
2 types of blood. Here's the thing. How did she know? Because in the picture, there's no blood on her hand. If she cut, and Lana cut her hand. If she cut her hand on the knife with the blade, but the blade come from?
Objection!
The witness statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor. What do you mean you can't see nothing faulty? Excuse me! Bitch! Bitch! Are you shitting me? You're shitting me!
Hold it!
So you brought it to the forensics department. If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert. She got away with a little coup because she used to be a detective. The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it. Well, the man was stabbed after all. And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman. As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe. And the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Sky.
Hold it!
You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test. You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie? Huh? Well, speak up! Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. Really, Phoenix? That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright. Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types of blood with all blood tests out there. Which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood down to just one person. Or so I hear. That's pretty specific. If I had a little more time, I would have gotten the DNA results. But they said there's very little doubt it could be anyone's but Miss Lana Sky's. So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. Lana said she cut her hand, but I don't see any blood. She would have still been bleeding. Is this where I present this?
Hold it!
I can't let this evidence go through without a fight. You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some like your client. She's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe? A problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? There's a problem. Yes. If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there's one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction. That gleam in your eyes. You're still a young rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with this evidence.
Take that!
I wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of this shoe. There we are. It's not quite what I was thinking, but whatever, I'll take it. Don't mess with me, rookie. Or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. Indeed, there's quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe.
It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about... Could possibly be contradictory about the bottom of the shoe? Where's the blood stain? Please, let this be it.
Take that!
The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the shoe is covered in blood. Well, the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't there any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about the shoe.
Objection!
This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints.
Objection!
Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Order, order, order! Well, witness.
What? Great going, Mr. Wright. But it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint.
Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint. Because the scene of the crime wasn't the underground parking. Flat out.
Think, Mr. Wright, think!
Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions.
What?
Hold it. I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There's one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect.
The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum.
Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding! Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty?
Oh, that, I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt on the lunchbox factory.
Witness, well, was the oil drum empty?
The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water.
Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright? You want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason? Aha! You don't mean... Yes, the suspect knocked over the oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. Ah! That ties up things quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoe tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs. While she was fighting.
Why, that's the prosecutor's specialty. Erasing evidence.
That reminds me. Miss Guy's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she'd cut it herself when she stabbed him?
So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe?
Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial.
Mr. Wright, do something, please!
What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime, and she tried to conceal it.
But...
Enough. There's no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor? Very well.
But Angel Starr is on the prosecution side! She could have been lying about the water!
This court finds the defendant Miss Lana's Sky.
Little girl, what did you just say?
Huh? Me?
Did you say that I, Angel Starr, was on the prosecution side?
Well, yeah, you are! You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints!
Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence.
Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else.
Objection!
The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court.
Your threats don't scare the cough-up queen.
Look at this!
Photograph. I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim.
I see no room for error in this evidence.
Mr. Wright, wait! Look at the asphalt in this photo.
Hey, it's clearly wet! Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. Guess I couldn't help out after all.
It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia.
Right. Wet or not. Don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end.
This is the last piece of evidence. Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good.
Objection!
Your Honor, wait! What is with you people? Can't I hand down my verdict at pace anymore? Sorry, I'll let you get to that in a second. Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it can't. Then it will be too late. Look at this photograph. The last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, right. Are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah! I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Alright, Ron, I've got to go ahead with this. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem with this in this photograph.
And by think later, he means think now. Okay. Well, the shoe is off. Wouldn't the shoe have been... doesn't look like it landed in the water, though. probably here, don't you think?
Take that! Take that!
Hang on.
Take that!
Where's... No.
Take that! Take that! Take that!
Why was there something in Edgy's muffler? I just noticed that. The pop rum in this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler. Just wait a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor? You just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or... That's the kind of muffler she meant! There's something in the muffler! In the car's muffler! A muffler is also a part on a car or a motorcycle, Your Honor. And just think of it as part of the exhaust system. A pipe. I see. And I see. What's the suspicious-looking claw sticking out of the car's muffler? So what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? Bitch? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Objection!
Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. Yeah, because she said muffler, didn't she? You said as much in your testimony. What? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us what you think this piece of cloth and the mufflers relate to the case. Besides that... Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earliest testimony. Our earlier testimony, actually. Muffler. Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Bye, bitch. Well, it seems we'll have to suspend the proceedings. Suspend? I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. Same. If we leave any question unanswered, here we will do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once, and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. Phew! That was close. But we made it. At least for now. This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all. He's still hungry. Especially after that triple decker. That's February 23rd, 11:56 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Mr. Wright?
What?
Are trials always like this with you? Like you're swimming up from the bottom of the lake about to reach the surface. But no matter how hard you paddle, you never seem to get there.
Pretty much. Except today we're swimming in quicksand. So what happened to your sister anyway?
Apparently she got called off to the judge's chambers.
Probably something to do with that piece of cloth.
So this is where we turn this trial around, right? Our only weapon, a tiny, insignificant piece of cloth.
I'm the one who's starting to feel tiny and insignificant, to tell the truth.
Hola, partner.
Oh, hey dude. They say you show red cloth to a bull, it'll fire up its temper. That's what they told me when I was a youngin', at least.
Officer Marshall!
Thought I'd come and take a look, seeing how the trial's going. Looks like I'm late. They've got the home ranch locked down tighter than a fortnight in enemy territory. Not hard to slip out, huh? What is going on over there anyway?
All the police I've seen these last 2 days have been really on edge.
Don't you got enough on your plate without worrying about other people, compadre? You could be worrying about the cheap prosecutor's taste in mufflers, for example.
Officer Marshall? The whole muffler thing didn't have anything to do with scarves. She wasn't even wearing a scarf.
You don't say. Now don't that just beat all? Huh? I've seen the red breeze blow at her slender neck many a time. I saw it that day too. She was wearing a red muffler.
What?
At the award ceremony that afternoon. Edward's seen it too, I'd reckon.
What does that mean? In the photograph taken at the crime scene, she wasn't wearing a scarf. So, Miss Starr wasn't mistaken.
Well, it's about time. Remember, partner, sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns. And sometimes you just gotta let that bull go where it will. Time will tell.
I have a bad feeling about this. So, what are we swimming in now, Mr. Wright?
If it's steak sauce, I can hook you up with some fine ribs. Ooh-wee! That was probably thicker than that. I'd like to resume.
What's up? The judge keeps looking over at the prosecution.
Is something wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah, really. Your face is blue, your lips are purple, you're sweating bullets. That furrowed brow, those grinding teeth, those watery eyes. What's more, your eyes are unfocused. You're doubled over. Your back is bent. It can't be! This can't happen!
I wonder what happened to Mr. Edgeworth.
Well then, I believe it is time we continue on with this trial. During our recess, I had requested that the prosecution conduct an investigation.
This is unacceptable!
It seems our prosecutor is quite beside himself.
Excuse me, knock knock?
Who's there?
Seriously, who are you?
What's with this guy? A strange, stuffy aura seems to be filling the courtroom.
Hey, the temperature rose 5.7 degrees when that man came in.
Who
Who on earth is he? Ah, it's you. Who? Oh. Sorry, I'm late, G. The rows are packed. It's just me. Long time no see, eh, G? How you been? So much these days? Ah, hello. No, I've been so busy. Busy smidgy, G. My boy, you have to make time to relax. Yes, indeed. Aji seems to be his nickname for the judge. I'm afraid you're right. Very afraid. Sorry, but who are you? Aha, so you're Righto, the attorney. I've heard such good things about you, son. Eh? Thanks? So sorry about our little worthy giving you all that trouble, eh? You know, we should all go swimming sometime. Jolly. Little worthy? Mr. Wright, you don't know the district chief of police? Chief of police? He's the top freaking police officer in the entire district. Name's Damon Gant. Pleased to meet you, everyone. So, to what do we owe this honor today? It's been over 2 years since you last came to this courtroom, hasn't it? Well, it's worthy here. Look at the poor fella. I just thought I'd help out by breeding this. Hey, that's my sister's muffler! So Miss Starr wasn't just seeing things. When the crime scene occurred, Miss Guy really was wearing that muffler. But to think that it was stuffed into that exhaust pipe. On Little Worthy's car, no less. It's really quite embarrassing even for us. What's this? It's what you call a switchblade knife. Quite perplexing, this. Chief, what kind of outfit are you running? Mr. Edgeworth, how could they miss such a vital piece of evidence? If you're investigators of this size, how do you expect us to do our job? Now, wait a minute, Worthy. I have no desire to hear your excuses. I'm telling you to wait. Or didn't you hear me? Have a look at this document, where it says person in charge of investigation. There's no mistaking that signature, is there? Miles Edgeworth? That's not fair! On the day of the crime, I had your head in the clouds because you got that award. I know how you feel. But you're the person in charge. I'll expect a written apology. What? Are you serious? Don't be too upset. We'll find a way to clean up this mess that you made. This is the first time I've seen Mr. Edgeworth at a loss for words. It's the first time you've seen it. I've seen it plenty of times by now. This is a major blunder. This kind of major blunder is unlike you, Mr. Edgeworth. The court now accepts this new evidence. But I'd like to ask the defense a favor first. Yes? Just to be sure. I'd like to take a look at the blade of this knife. The blade, Your Honor? Well, I don't see why not. Could you open it up for me, I wonder? Yes, well, I think all you have to do is push that switch and... If I cut my finger, Mr. Wright, I wouldn't be able to pound my gavel anymore. Yeah, but if I cut my finger, I wouldn't be able to point at people anymore. Come on, just hurry up and open it! It's not just... It has the same thing. There's a small tag on the knife. It seems to say SL92. What does that mean? Well, I've heard something similar. DL6, of DL6 incident fame. This is strange. What is? I'm not certain, but I get the feeling I've seen this somewhere before. Letters like this, or letters that looked a lot like this somehow. Yeah, I know. It's on that piece of paper we got. What? Don't scare me like that! I'm the one who's scared! Why is it broken? What's this knife blade? The tip is broken off. And this dark red stain. Blood? This could be Lana's. This could be what she cut herself on. This does not excuse the actions of the police department. I would like to hear an explanation from the chief of police himself. I'm terribly sorry, but could I ask you to testify for us about the split between the prosecutors and police and this knife? Sure thing, not a problem. Not even a little one, really. I might feel bad about wrecking this guy. This knife is special, but I can't say how here. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodwin. It was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. A detective was killed at the police department. See, what a mess. Result, the time of the crime? 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? It's not officially linked to this here crime, so I can't talk much about it. But it kind of is. There was a murder at the police department? A detective? That's hush information, Aji. We haven't exactly announced it yet.
Objection!
Wait a second. You said 5:15. That's the exact time that Detective Goodman was killed at the parking lot. Order. Anyway, we were at the department. We were all flustered, as you might well assume. We were in the middle of a top-secret investigation. Don't tell anyone, okay? I think we understand the police department situation. Well, Mr. Wright, 2 detectives killed at the same time in 2 different places. The chances of that are really slim. Scientifically speaking, of course. I'd like to exercise my right to cross-examine the witness. Very well. However, keep your questions focused on the case at hand. Will do. Alright. This knife is special, but I can't say how here. Excuse me, special? Hard to come by this particular knife anywhere else. Might that special thing be this little tag? Oh, sorry, Righto, but I can't say that now. Not that. We've established that the knife in Goodman's chest was this knife. Now, why was there another knife at the scene of the crime? That's quite a mystery. And like a mystery, it's wrapped up in something. A muffler. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. This knife was found on the scene of our crime. I think that makes it connected to the case, don't you? See, there's a lot of things that go on in the department I can't explain. It's delicate, okay? Sorry, Righto. Maybe there's something about that knife that will give us a clue. Well, yes. Evidence at least... I mean... Prior presenting... Yes. So how were things down at the department? Hang on.
Objection!
Wait a second! Ah, at last, an honest-to-goodness objection. I did it on your second statement. This knife. This has to have something to do with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? Aha! And honest-to-goodness, what do you mean from Mudgy? This is great. How long has it been since you've been in this kind of process? Look at the tag on this knife. It reads SL-92. And this is important. Why? Over here, we also have a memo that was on the body of the victim. It's upside down. This is the S, this is the L, and then 9. 2/12. The 12th of February. SL9 happened. What's this? 6 minutes, 7 seconds, 12/2. Your Honor, it's upside down. the name printed on the memo makes it look like it's right side up. But turn it around, and what do you get? 221, not 212. Aha! Whoever wrote this note was holding the paper upside down. SL9. That's the same that's written on the knife's tag. Order! Order! Well, Chief? Ah, well. I guess the cat's out of the bag. You win, Righto. Win? What game is this guy playing? The knife was evidence in the case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. So this knife... stolen? Yes, but on the day of the murder. It was evidence, you say? Was it in fact a murder weapon? Nice, nice, nice! Good show, Little Worthy! It was a murder weapon as it happened. I don't know. You're starting to sound a little condescending. Maybe I won't feel as bad. It was evidence from... That's all, folks. I swear to God, I can talk. Sometimes when I talk, sometimes I talk fast, and then I start tripping over my words. It's a running theme with me. It was evidence from a case long since solved. So this knife was stolen on the day of the murder. And it was found in the exhaust pipe of Edward's car. Hard to think there isn't a connection there. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do any investigation. Something happened at the police department too, huh? You got a good look in your eyes there, right, oh my boy? Sharp, hungry. So, something did happen. And why wasn't I informed? Why weren't you informed? Well, why didn't you ask? No matter, I understand. You were busy, well, with Lana's case and all. Well, what happened? What happened to the police department that day? A detective was killed at the police department. See, what a mess. On the same day that a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot. Another detective was killed at the police department? That's a fact. Surprising, isn't it, Uchi? I'm at a loss for words. And the perpetrator, do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. Just arrested. That was quick. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, Righto. I suppose I could help. If you help me by giving data on your case. Ooh, good one. Get sharp. Okay, here's the deal. I will tell you one thing and one thing only. Okay, so I can reload and listen to all of this, but we will only know one answer. We know where the victim was found. We know when the victim died, or at least we have an idea. The victim was found at the police department. That much we know. 5:15. Possibility. Slim, but a possibility. How the victim was killed, that's what we really need to know. Although, the victim could have been Goodman. And put into Edgy's car during the ceremony. It's... I'm not the only one thinking this, right? The crime scene was the police department. And then the victim was killed using Edgy's knife. had to be connected to the case that Goodman was probably investigating. Because he had the memo. He had the memo. How was the victim killed? We have that. We have where the victim was found, and I have an idea that's also where the victim was killed. We have when the victim died, which is still a possibility because I think the victim he's talking about is Goodman. So how was the victim killed? Well, how was the detective killed? How was he killed? Well, that's the interesting part. It was what we in the Force Know call a stabbing with a knife. A knife. That's exactly the same as Detective Goodman! That's the spirit we're cooking now. Yes! You are talking about Goodman. He was killed at the police department! Can we please get a straight answer? But you know, that's not the only thing that was exactly the same. What do you mean? There are more similarities between the two cases than the cause of death. Seems like I'm going to have to press this a bit harder. Time of the crime, 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? 5:15. But that's when Detective Goodman was killed in the prosecutor's office. What? Funny, isn't it? A murder at the prosecutor's place and a murder at our place at the very same time. What are the chances? Coincidence? This is just my gut feeling. I'd say there's a 0.001% chance of that happening. Chief Gant, please tell us more about the incident. It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it. How can you say there's no connection? How? Because I'm the chief of police. I can't just say anything I please, righto? You understand. I try to understand, righto. Well, if you can prove there's a connection, more power to you. Maybe there's something that ties the two murders together? Whatever it is, I better find it and get to the bottom of this. 2 detectives were killed at 5:15. One in the prosecutor's office, and one at the police department. That can't be a coincidence. And that knife! What was it doing there? I'd better check this knife out. Okay, where was the victim found? So tell me, where was the victim found? I don't... I didn't he said answer one question, so I thought I couldn't ask it again. I'm an idiot. Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found, but I can say the crime took place in the evidence room at the police department. The evidence room? Wait a second. I've heard of that. The evidence room? Didn't you mention that in his testimony just now? The knife was evidence in the case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. There's the connection between the two cases. You seem happy, Mr. Wright. Happy? We just got handed our ticket to go to town on this case. With the link between the two cases established, we finally have some leverage. Now we can get Gant to testify about the details.
Objection! Hold it!
Okay, I reloaded so I had full bars.
Hold it!
Chief, the defense's position is simply this. The connection between these two cases has already been proven. You don't say. Well, out with it, Righto. What's your connection? Yes, out with it, Mr. Wright. The connection is a place mentioned in the testimony we just heard. The knife found in the lot was stolen from the police department's evidence room. Not to mention the victim had on him the case number on the knife's evidence tag. And we know that the detective murdered at the police department was killed in that very same evidence room. Indeed. There do seem to be too many connections for it to be a coincidence. You two make a good pair. I agree. It took my men 2 days to find out what you just deduced right there. Chief, I request that release your information on the victim at the police department. See, that's the tricky part. It hasn't been announced yet. At all. Can we get the information unofficially? Sure, why not? It's unofficial, after all. What? Really? Who would have guessed? I'll cooperate, but I can't reveal the name of the victim at the department, okay?
Hold it!
If you're going to tell us a little, why not tell us everything? Ah, well, case information is sticky stuff. You have to do everything properly. Oh well, I guess I might as well try to get what I can out of him. ID number. Okay, how about you tell me the victim's ID number? Sure, why not? It's not like you'll be able to tell who it is from that. Give me a second. Of course not. You won't tell me their name, after all. We keep a tight lid on ID numbers, so don't go getting your hopes up. The number is... 5842189. Oh, that's quite long. And we have to remember these. It drives me nuts. I don't doubt that. 8, 2... I can't do it. You didn't even get the first number right. Well, Mr. Wright, does this tell you anything? The ID number of the victim at the police department. This tells me something. Actually, it does, Your Honor. It does! I think. Meaning... You think? I know! It has to be what I think it is. But what does this mean? Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. You say the ID number of the detective who was murdered at the police department tells you something? What does it tell you?
Take that!
Witness! What is it, Mr. Wright? You're grinning like a schoolgirl! You're grinning like a schoolgirl on prom night. Oh my god, I love that. That is such a good... No, it's just, I got confused. And this is new. Edgy, please. Just come out with both guns blazing like you always do. The police department, the prosecutor's office, 2 places, 2 detectives murdered at one time. Actually, I happen to have a police ID number here. Oh, is it yours? No, Your Honor. I'm a defense attorney, remember? This is the ID number of our victim, Detective Goodman. Shame on you, Righto! Personnel IDs are top secret. Detective Goodman's ID number is 5842189.
And? This means what exactly? You're shitting me. Huh? Wait. That ID number we heard from the chief earlier. I started with an 82... Oh, I've forgotten. You didn't even get the first digit right! Again! The number of the chief of police gave us was 5842189.
Objection!
Wait a second, right. What does this mean? That's what I want to know. The two ID numbers are identical. In other words, the detective killed in the police department at Prince Evan's room was Bruce Goodman. What does our witness think about that? Oh, sharp as attack, Roto! Sharp as attack! You're honestly kind of being a good sport. But wait, Detective Goodman is our victim! He was killed at 5:15 in the underground parking lot. Yet, a Detective Bruce Goodman was also killed at the police department. In the evidence room at the exact same time. That's impossible! So what we're saying is, the same person was killed at the same time? And in a completely different location. Order! 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 Chief, what does this mean? No. What I want to know is, why didn't I hear about this? Yes, it's top secret, fine, but I'm the prosecutor in charge of the case! Now, just wait a second, Worthy, no need to get all flustered. Your Honor, the police department has made a grave error in this case. Wait. I said wait. Or didn't you hear me? The oversight. The grave error? Mr. Edgeworth. They're yours. How dare? We informed you yesterday. I believe it was our officer Meekins who brought you the news. Officer Meekins? Mr. Wright, where have you heard that name before? Wait, aha! Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth, anywhere on the premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I've got your report, sir. You don't mean him. According to Meekins, you didn't accept the report. Hard to believe. But your officer, he told me. He said that report had nothing to do with the Lana Sky incident. Detective Bruce Goodman murdered in the police department evidence room. Mr. Edgeworth, the victim's name is written right on the top of the report. Why didn't your officer tell me? Honestly, I'm not sure if that officer was capable of making the connection. He did seem challenged. In any case, this is a serious error, a gross negligence of duty on your part, Worthy. But sir, you could have submitted that report this morning to the court as evidence. Then not such like this time, Worthy. Or should I say, unworthy. What? Now, what was the second rule of evidence law, Well, Mr. Wright? Oh, well, it's, Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And how is this rule relevant? Normally, you submit a list of evidence to be used in the court before the trial. This report wasn't on that list. So, what does this mean? I couldn't submit this evidence until a connection was proven in court. The connection was just proven by Righto over here. Good job, Righto, my boy. Huh? I was just doing my job. No. No! Edgy's really on edge. It seems we have come to the end of this trial. I know you're going through a tough time, Worthy. Well, with all those rumors. You were even in the defendant's chair just this past December. I apologize for this terrible lack of
due diligence on my part. Mr. Edgeworth, please, just give me one day. I'll get to the bottom of what happened. If it's the last thing I do. You better get results this time. Really. You have my profound apologies, sir.
Poor Mr. Edgeworth.
I don't think there's ever been an error this serious in the history of this court. I will grant one further day as the prosecution has requested. Will that be sufficient, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes,
Your Honor. Thank you. Whatever your punishment for this is, for your sake, I hope it's not decisive. Very well. Court is adjourned.
Edgy got roasted. February 23rd, 2:15 p.m. Brighton Co-Law offices. Mr. Wright, so... what's going on with the case anyway? I'm a little confused.
Huh? Well, let's see. What is going on? Yeah, really. Victim Detective Bruce Goodman was stabbed to death after 5 p.m. on the 21st. He died in the prosecutor's parking lot and the police department's evidence room.
What's this in the evidence room part? The prosecutor's office and the police department are 30 minutes apart by car.
Well, that's what we're going to find out. Or try to, at least.
Alright, let's do it.
She's in good spirits, but I'm not sure she's going to be much help with this.
Don't be so sure, Mr. Wright.
Huh?
Look, we're in this together, right? I'll prove that these sticky-rimmed glasses of mine aren't just for show.
I miss Maya.
Let's go! Science awaits us!
33rd, prosecutor's office, underground parking lot.
You know, I really don't think we should worry about the police department murder. There wasn't even a body found there. Who cares?
Yeah, it was only our victim who was killed in the evidence room. No biggie.
Besides, my sister would never do such a thing. I know it.
That oil drum, was it empty?
The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor
Was brimming with water.
My sister erasing evidence at the crime scene? Never!
Even though she says they don't get along, Emma really likes her sister.
That's not it at all! It's just... we're both professionals at what we do, and I trust her.
It works for high school students. Well, whether there was blood on the floor or not, the water in that oil drum washed it all away.
Ignore the strength of my science at your own peril, Mr. Wright.
Huh? What's that grin for?
This situation calls for one thing, and that is... luminol tested fluid!
Luminol?
Blood is sticky stuff, you know. You can't just wash it away with a little water. Even if you can't see it, it's still there.
But wouldn't the police have already done those tests?
Never trust anyone's eyes but your own, Mr. Wright. Just give it a try.
Me? Why do I have to do it?
I'm a minor. I can't even drink yet.
We're testing bloodstains with this stuff, not drinking it.
Here, look. I'll lend you these glasses.
Huh? You had an extra pair of those things. Whoa. We're going into the virtual boy territory here.
To test for a blood reaction, just spray the luminol on it. Like this. See? Press set to spray it on.
Well, I'd probably click.
Okay, let's find out some blood stains.
Hello? I can see her eyes shining behind those glasses. So this is a blood stain.
It's so...
Emma, you're shaking.
It's just... this is my first time seeing real blood.
Scientific investigation in action.
Okay, well, we definitely know that this is a blood stain. But doesn't something strike you as odd?
Scientifically speaking, of course. What's odd about this, scientifically? The amount of blood. The perpetrator and Detective Goodman fought here, right? Don't you think there'd be a little more blood? I definitely think so. I mean, look at all the blood on the sole of the victim's shoe. It is pretty strange. If they fought here, there'd have to have been more blood than this. Hey, Mr. Wright? I'm going to mark the floor plans to where when we found a blood stain. Okay? See, I'm pretty handy to have around, right? Yeah, and this stuff's pretty handy too. I saved up my allowance to buy that. Luminol testing fluid. Proceed for one very proud-looking MS guy. Spray to use. We can't be sure that the police will reveal all their evidence in court. Sometimes they fail to mention evidence that doesn't fit with their view of the case. So let's drag that hidden evidence out in into the light of day. Yeah! Feels like we're really investigating a crime now, doesn't it? Guess I should give this spray on anything suspicious. Oh, what do you want? I wonder how that fluid of yours would react to a nice deli box. Miss Starr! You only trust your own eyes, Not bad, you two. This day-old deli box is on the house. Sorry, it's just the kind of bleed doesn't really get my mouth watering. You certainly put me in a tight spot today. My apologies, Miss Starr, but... No, it's okay. It was my fault. Oh, we know. I witnessed everything from that security room right there. But I was afraid that wouldn't sound convincing enough, you see. I was wrong to think that. I'm sorry. Sorry? You lied on the witness stand! That's unforgivable! Little girl, don't forget what's important here. Even if the place I witnessed the events from was different, I still saw what I saw. I saw Chief Prosecutor Sky stab a man in cold blood, and that testimony still stands. I swear it on my honor as a detective. She stabbed Goodman. I know this photograph has something important to tell us, but what? So, you were a detective, weren't you, Miss Starr? Yes, it was a long time ago. Well, 2 years ago. No matter how hardened the criminal when they faced me, they coughed it up. Coughed it up. They confessed. They babbled like babies. You know, I may seem like a demon sometimes, but I could be an angel too. I wouldn't doubt it. Every day I dragged the dirt out of the mouths of suspect after suspect. And before long they called me the cough-up queen. Oh, and here I thought someone had gotten food poisoning from your lunches. And you were let go? Fired? I felt that I had found my dream job and I became an investigator. And if these prim and proper prosecutors hadn't let me go, I'd still be one today. It's all because of that case. The SL9 incident. SL9? Wait, she doesn't mean... what do you think about this? The SL9 incident. It's written on that knife. And on that note. Goodman. Goodman was the head detective on that case, you know? Really? That knife was evidence from that case. The murder weapon. It was due for transferal the very day Goodman was killed. As I suspected, SL9 isn't over. Not yet. Do you think you could tell us more about the SL9 incident? Maybe? Can you?
Can you please?
I had one of those up until 2 years ago. Back when you were the pop-up queen, right?
We found this ID card here in the parking lot.
Well, there's no mistaking that. It's definitely Goodman's.
But it's the same ID as the man who was killed at the police department.
That's impossible. I wish I could be so sure.
Okay. Now we're just...
If you think about it, I could have taken that picture from the guard room. But even I get flustered sometimes.
So you went straight to the scene of the crime.
I rushed towards the chain link fence in an effort to stop the murder. That's when I took this photo, yes?
In other words, 5 minutes after the crime.
Those 5 minutes are the whole problem. The hole in my testimony, as it were. The 5 minutes weren't the problem, Miss Starr. You lying was the problem.
Listen, little girl.
I've had my testimony disregarded before. And I wasn't going to have it disregarded again. Just like that time. That time? Can you please tell me about the incident? Thank you! That incident really opened up my eyes to the truth. We're nothing to them. Disposable. Disposable? To who? 2 years ago. It was the biggest case I'd ever handled. The police and the prosecutors were desperate for decisive evidence.
So they didn't solve it?
On the contrary, it was solved quite cleanly. The criminal was caught and executed. Executed? Yes, the criminal got what was coming to him. It doesn't get any cleaner than that. The only problem was, they never did find decisive evidence. Not a shred.
What?
But the criminal was executed, right? On the basis of evidence? Of a sort. Made up evidence. What? You mean they executed someone with fabricated evidence? The best part came several months after the trial. Every detective involved with the case was dealt with. Some were demoted to patrolmen, others found themselves out of a job. And you were one of those. Myself and one other person you know well. Wait, could it be? Exactly. Detective Jake Marshall. Oops, I mean Police Department Security Detail Officer Jake Marshall. As professional detectives, we investigated that case from every angle. Jake was particularly determined. And then it was over, and he was demoted. However, he hasn't forgotten, and neither have I. You haven't forgotten SL9. There was another side to that case, a hidden side. That's what we're after now. And no one up in their fancy offices can stop us. Wait! Those lunches you sell! There's only one reason I come to sell lunches in this accursed office. I come here to meet old friends. Boyfriends that can help me investigate. Star's old boyfriends. How many does she have anyway? Just when all the detectives on SL9 have disappeared, we find new evidence. There has to be a connection! So, Rookie.
What?
It seems like you're serious about investigating this case.
Yes.
Then you should take this.
Sounds very fake lunch?
I know a certain guy who might help you if you tempt him with this treat.
Putting our Officer Marshall in a good mood. Yeah, I'm sure that'll...
Miss Starr? Officer Marshall, is he your... are you his... Are you going out? Why do you want to know? I was just wondering what happened to him. A long time ago, when he was helping my sister do cases, he was so nice. He got along so well with my sister. Made me jealous. And he was nice to me too back then.
This would be when Officer Marshall was a detective.
But now he's so cold.
Jake and I are merely cooperating in this investigation. We're putting the past to rest, as it were. Nothing more than that.
I see. Thank you.
Officer Jake Marshall.
No, not examine.
Move. Probably at the police department. February 23rd, police department entrance. It's even busier here today than it was yesterday.
The detectives are running around so fast they're blurring.
It's supposed to make sense. A detective did get killed here, after all.
So, the evidence room. A scene of the crime. According to the pamphlet we got at the front desk, here it is.
Just a kid in an amusement park.
A real crime scene. Let's go take a look.
Well, I think we know who's here. What's with the decor in this place? It's very eccentric.
I think you mean Western. According to the pamphlet, this is the guard station for the evidence room.
So beyond that door is the evidence room. Scene of the crime.
Sure seems that way. Oh!
What's wrong?
It's those cacti! They're so prickly, it's so imposing. It's hard to think straight.
If you can't handle the cacti, stay out of the desert. What I want to know is if this is a guard station, where's the guard?
I have a feeling I know who he is already. There's a security guard uniform hanging there.
Looks more like a costume than a uniform, honestly.
A leather jacket, leather pants, and a leather... What was it called again? Punchy? A paunchy? A pinch? I know, a putty! Huh. Wait, maybe that wasn't it.
It's a poncho, and I think I'll keep that information to myself for the time being.
Yikes, these sure are prickly. This must be the real deal.
I would think just one big one would be sufficient.
These cacti are a lot like my sister, actually.
How so?
Encased in a cold, rigid shell with spines pointing in every direction. Just like her.
I'm not so sure I see the resemblance.
It's more of an attitude thing than a physical similarity. Look, on the floor! A lasso!
Looks like it's set up to trap something.
A trap here? Wait, I know! Maybe someone was trying to catch a wild bull in here, but the lasso missed.
You sure have an active imagination.
This swinging door makes the place look like some kind of saloon.
But look, it's nailed shut. You can't get in that way.
Of course not. If you went in through here, the cactus would fall over. Ouch.
I'd say more of a yarg myself. Looks like there's a video feed from the evidence room here.
There's a light blinking below the monitor. It says recording. I bet we could use this computer to check on who went in and out of there.
The evidence room is beyond that door.
Let's just walk in. It won't open.
You thought it'd be open? I think we need someone's permission to go in there first. This place is charged with frantic energy, as always.
Please! Huh? Wasn't that...
One steak lunch, please! Oh, it's you. Detective Gumshoe. Now's not time for a chit-chat, pal. I'm a busy man. What I really need is a steak lunch from Lunchland.
Oh, you mean one of these? Actually, it's not for sale.
I think I just heard the sound of his
heartbreaking. No, but now's no time for despair. We've got our criminal. We just need evidence. The criminal? You mean... You heard about the stabbing in the police department evidence room, right, pal? On the same day that a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department. And the perpetrator. Do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. It's the biggest scandal to hit the station in ages! Everything's topsy-turvy! But Detective Gumshoe, who was it? Listen, pal, all I know is I need me a steak lunch. Pronto. Standing around here talking is going to fill my belly. Wait! Don't leave! If you want to know more, head down to the detention center, pal. Questioning should be over, so I figured he's there having a good cry. Later. He ran off to the evidence room. Well, this investigation is up to a running start. Okay. Yeah. I've heard this before. I am not looking at that thing. My third police station criminal affairs department. Wow. Everyone looks deadly serious here. Well, there was a vicious murder of a detective down at the police department. Yes, but the same detective was also killed at the same time in the prosecutor's lot. Makes my head hurt. Well, first things first. Let's go check out the police department crime scene. Yes, you sound dead set on investigating. But don't mess up, or we could wind up dead. I doubt anyone wants more mysteries. Or dead bodies around here right now. But it doesn't look like anyone's going to help us much either. This police mascot, is it? The Blue Badger. The future star of the police force. The design's a little changed from the one outside. Oh well, the Dancing Blue Badger TM is still under development, you see. You have it trademarked? Absolutely. It's cutting edge stuff. Very... no. I showed this doll here to my daughter and she burst into tears. Don't show her the movie mock-up outside then. You'll give her nightmares. So the detective's desk. There are computers and files on each one. Funny, they're a lot tidier than I expected. Guess the detectives don't spend a lot of time at their desks. It's one of the detectives. He's mumbling something to himself. I know. The killer used dry ice. If you put it between the latch and the door, the room could be sealed shut. This is good. I'll win a writer's award for sure. He's not writing a report. He's writing a novel. Must be the chief of detectives. He's glued to his computer screen. What? Detective killed in the evidence room! Tell no one outside the police department? No! I told that old lady at the restaurant everything! Someone's getting into motion. February 23rd. Detention Center Visitors Room. Please let it not be who I think it is. Still, I do feel a little better about things. A little. I mean, they caught the person who stabbed Detective Goodman, didn't they? Yeah, I guess they did. Best not go too far down that road right now. These will just get confusing. What was that? Sir, that's what I'm saying. Me, a perpetrator. I'd say I was the perpetrated against, sir. That's what I'd say. It's worse. Greetings, sir. Wait, I know who you are. Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth, anywhere on the premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I've got your report, sir. Officer Meekins! So you're a guard here at the detention center? No, sir, I'm not, sir. I'm a little lost patrolman like a little lost lamb, sir. Oh, I get it. You're here to deliver a report. No, sir. How should I say this?
Wait,
He isn't. Is he? You, Officer Meekins, you didn't. Did you? Don't do that again. Perpetrator Officer Meekins reporting, sir! What? What? Now, this is an unexpected turn of events. Alright. We will talk to him in the next episode. I had an idea as to who it was going to be. The game pulled the rug out from under me with this one. Anyway, continue the next one. Dylan, I'm signing off.